Grab the duct tape and mentally prepare yourself for yet another mind-expanding knowledge bomb from America's #1 business coach, Clay Clark.
That's it. Bombs away.
Yes, and yes, Thrive Nation. Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. And on today's show, we're answering a question from Michelle. Andrew, are you prepared to read the question from Michelle?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Michelle, last name starts with a P. This goes out to you, and I'm going to send you a link to this shortly after we record it. And Andrew, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue up some good reading music for you. That way, as you're reading there, you don't feel that sense of pressure.
Got it.
That you could normally feel while reading a question from a Thriver to the hundreds of thousands of people listening to this show. So here we go, Andrew, please.
All right, so I am a current listener to your show and frequently hear yourself and guests on your show mention or allude to the 5-person principle. Basically, you are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. For some reason, or for someone who doesn't currently have a large support system of positive and productive people around them, how and where would you recommend meeting the people to further, meeting the best people to further their journey? I've discovered that it is very difficult to find other people who are driven, have integrity, are successful, and are genuinely pleasant and helpful to be around. Any suggestions? Michelle.
I do have some suggestions, Michelle. I kind of ended that with a hard. I should have hit the boom.
Fade it out. Oh, yeah.
We're going to read the question. Read just the last line one more time, please.
All right.
Here we go.
So I've discovered that it is very difficult to find other people who are driven, have integrity, are successful, and are genuinely pleasant and helpful to be around.
Oh, that was a better ending. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Michelle, I have a notable quote I'd like to read for all the listeners out there that aren't familiar with this concept. Jim Rohn, the best-selling author and the renowned speaker and business trainer, he once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So I'm going to share with you the methods for getting a hold of these people. But Andrew, you are here with me during the day. You see me in the office there. Do I often go out?
You typically never leave the office.
Okay. And do I go around networking a lot?
Never once seen you do that.
Okay. And why do you think that is?
Because you've created an environment in the office of what you want with the people you want. So there's no need to leave the office if everything that you want and need is right there in the office.
So what I want to share with, this is teaching moment number 1. I want to put this on the show notes for Miss Michelle, okay? The A team is rarely available. Okay, the A team is rarely available. The people who've really done it, the entrepreneurs who are really doing it, the people who've really achieved success, the top leaders, these people are hard to get a hold of because they've built either literal physical walls, they live behind a gated community, or they have built digital boundaries. So they're not spending a whole lot of time on Facebook or LinkedIn. Usually the people at the very top of any industry, the people, Michelle, that you want to network with, they're going to be harder to get a hold of. Now, the B team is readily available. And I want to make sure we put that on the show notes. The A team is rarely available, but the B team is readily available. I mean, these guys, they're ready to go. You can find them at any Panera Bread pitching their newest multi-level scam. And by the way, if you're involved in a multi-level that's not a scam, congratulations to you. You would be the outlier. But the B team is available. They're available to teach you all their systems, all their moves. Now, they've never done it, and they don't know how, but they're able to teach you their magic money system, their get-rich-quick pitch, their no-money-down real estate scam. That's what they do. So the B team is readily available. So if you're trying to reach out, Michelle, to high-quality people, please know idea number 1. The A team is going to be harder to get a hold of, but the B team is readily available. Now, there are methods. So, Andrew, could you read method number 1 for getting a hold of the A team? We have 4 methods we're teaching. And I would encourage our listener today, Miss Michelle, to write all these down. And if they don't make sense to you, it doesn't mean you're a bad student. It means I'm a poor teacher. So please feel free to email again to info@thrivetimeshow.com if further clarification is needed. Back to you, Mr. Andrew.
All right, so method number 1 is intern for free for a person that you desire to connect with.
Is it not true, Andrew, at the last in-person workshop, we had Michael Levine present?
That is very true.
And Michael Levine has been the PR consultant for Prince, Michael Jackson,
Yep.
Nike, Charlton Heston, Nancy Kerrigan, and there was one lady in the audience
Yep.
who put her hand up and said, I don't know if you remember, Michael, but what'd she say?
Interned for you a long time ago.
So we had a girl in the audience
Yep.
who had once interned for the great PR guru, Michael Levine, years ago. Is that a true story?
Yeah, it was really cool, actually.
So again, the method number 1 is you could intern for free for a person that you desire to connect with. That is a powerful move. And Andrew, can I go ahead and list some examples on the show notes here?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Example number one. Steven Spielberg once worked for free. And for the sake of time, I won't share the whole story, but that's how he got his first job. He showed up on a Hollywood studio set, found his way onto the set, and volunteered to work for free. Kind of hard to turn down a guy who's willing to work for free. Another example that the human mind can hopefully handle. Ryan Tedder, the Grammy award-winning artist, once worked for free. Yes, he interned for Industrial Light and Magic in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Ryan Tedder. Oprah once worked for free.
Oh.
Oprah once worked for free. Really, Clay, how do you know all these things? Because I read all these books, and they're all the same story. Did you know, Thrive Nation, did you know Andrew Carnegie once worked for free? The world's second wealthiest man during his lifetime. He once worked for free. Did you know, Andrew, did you know John D. Rockefeller, the world's wealthiest man, he also once worked for free?
Really?
Did you know that P. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Sean Combs, he now has 5 new songs added to the Office playlist, and he once worked for free. By the way, do you hear the new overhead music today?
I have. It's been great.
New songs coming in
Yeah.
there? Oh, man, we've almost tripled the size of the playlist there.
Crazy.
So very exciting. So again, these are all people that have once worked for free. So that is a move. Now, Andrew, you represent the people who are trying to learn something, and I represent the poor teachers. Am I miscommunicating method 1 in any way? Does that make sense to you? Are there any questions that you have on behalf of the listeners out there about working for free?
No, it makes sense. Intern and work for free.
The people aren't going to be having a sign that says now hiring for free either. You got to call them and volunteer to work for free. Call them, email them, text them, do what you have to do. That's what you got to do. Now, method number 2. Method number 2, Andrew. Break down method number 2 about increasing your network, because your network is your net worth. If you can increase the quality of your network, this is method number 2. Back to you, Andrew.
Method number 2 is do work for free for the person you desire to connect with, which we talked a little bit about.
So this is different. Well, this is kind of different than interning, though.
Right.
This would be like just doing work for free. So I've done that with Mr. Clifton Talbert, the renowned speaker, the man who, the first African-American west of the Mississippi who launched the Stairmaster. I've done work for free for Mr. Maurice Kanbar, the guy who launched and started Sky Vodka. And I'll put all these on the show notes, please.
Okay.
So Clifton Talbert, I've worked for free for him. I've worked for free for, Mr. Maurice Kanbar of Sky Vodka. I have done work for free for the Tulsa Oilers hockey team. I have done work for free for the Tulsa Drillers. I have done work for free for Boeing Airlines. I have done work for free for Quick Trip. I have done work for free for Outback Steakhouse. I have done work for a store that Kevin Garnett used to have in the Mall of America back in the day called KG's.
Ooh.
I have done work for free for a great many people at a time when I couldn't afford it, by the way, too. So let me explain to you the 4-step process for expanding your social circle, okay? So step 1, and these are different than the methods, okay? So put these steps underneath method 2, okay? Step 1, you do work for free, right? Step 2, after you've done a good job working for free, then what you do is you do work for under market value. You do work for less than the market is charging today. Step 3, you do work for market rate. You over-deliver the entire time. The entire time you have to over-deliver. When you're working for free, you over-deliver. When you're doing work for under the market value, you over-deliver. When you're doing work for the current market rate, you over-deliver. And then step 4, you get overpaid. That's how you do it. You get overpaid. Andrew, and you get overpaid because you have the habit of
delivering.
Yes, that's how you do it. Yes, I am no longer a poor teacher. I knew it would happen. Okay, so again, method number 2 was what, Andrew?
Method number 2 is do work for free for a person that you desire to connect with.
Because why in the world would somebody who's been busting their butt for years, having 3 jobs, 4 jobs, why would they want to take time out of their schedule to invest in every random person that asks for a moment of their time? Because if they did that, Andrew, would they ever have time freedom?
No, not at all.
And would they even have financial freedom if they spent their entire day volunteering for people?
Nope.
No, that'd be called a philanthropist, and that's not usually what successful people are. Now, method number 3 would be what, Mr. Andrew?
Method number 3 is attend workshops or conferences that they also attend.
Yeah, so attend workshops or conferences that super successful people attend. Don't go to every conference. Don't go to every networking event, but go to the ones where that are attended by super successful people. An example would be a country club. I know many, many people who've taken their career to the next level, Andrew, by signing up for a country club, by joining a country club. And do you know why that works?
Probably because the people at the country club are the same kind of people that they would like to associate with.
Yeah, that's really a place where a lot of wealthy people go golf. They hit tennis balls, they go swim, and it's a proximity thing. If you're in the room, you can be in the deal. In the room, in the deal. It is possible. That's something that you can do. You get in the room, you can get in the deal. Now, method number 4, Andrew, is what?
Oh, yeah. Method number 4 is relentlessly cold call them.
And offer to pay them to pick their brain. So you relentlessly cold call them and then offer to pay them to pick their brain. Now, how does that change the game when you offer to pay somebody to pick their brain?
That means you're serious. When you're offering them money or something in exchange for their time, that shows that you are serious and you know what you're talking about.
And I have offered to do this, Andrew, you can put it on the show notes. I've offered to do this for Mr. George Foreman, the 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. George Foreman, I've done that. I've done that with Mr. Chet Cadjo, the president and CEO of the Quick Trip Convenience Store. That's Mr. Chet Cadjo, Cadieux, Mr. Chet Cadjo. I've also done this, again, this offer to pay somebody to pick their brain for Michael Levine, the PR consultant, as we mentioned earlier, for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. And Andrew, why would I offer to pay? Why does that work?
You offer to pay because you realize that the things in the world that are free, like these guys have spent like their lives learning this stuff, and they are a great wealth of knowledge, so you see the value in what they have. Therefore, you are willing to pay for that because the things that are free, you can't find free things with that much value.
So, and when I offer to pay somebody to meet with them, to network with them, what does that do to the conversation, in your opinion? What do you think, from the outside perspective? If you called me today and you said, "Hey, Clay Clark, I'd love to pick your brain for lunch," I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that interested. You know what I mean? But if you said, "Go ahead and throw me out a number,"
$100.
No.
$200.
No.
$1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 would be more than I make per hour. But it would be probably at least $500 to do lunch.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I met somebody for lunch to pick my brain, that would be time I'm not with my kids. Mm-hmm. That'd be time I'm not working out.
Yep.
Time I'm not working on the podcast. Time I'm not writing a book. Time I'm not going to Atwoods. Time I'm not going to really Atwoods.
Yeah.
Or Guitar Center or Hobby Lobby, the big three. Mm-hmm. Going around and around just to Atwoods, Hobby Lobby, Guitar Center. And Andrew, Why? Why, though, have I had to learn to set boundaries and learn to say no to people that want to pick my brain? I mean, why? Because I used to always say yes. Why do you think I've had to learn to say no?
Because once you know so much and once you're that valuable to people, people are willing to pay you for that. So you have to set those boundaries. Otherwise, those people will control your schedule, and instead of you directing where you're going throughout the day and your schedule and your life, then you will allow everybody else who has, the ability to contact you or who has $500 to control your schedule. And if you do that, you're not going to get anywhere.
And this is a true story. This is how I started business coaching. It was 2000 and maybe 7.
Yeah.
And I was meeting people for lunch all the time because people said, man, your company, DJ Connection, just slamming, man. You guys are rocking. Can I pick your brain for lunch? And the first time I said, yeah, sure. Met a lady. She had a bakery that was struggling. I met her, showed her what to do. She follows up, hey, it's going great. Could you teach me this next step? A wedding gown store asked me for help. A lot of wedding businesses. Multiple hotels asked me if I could help them fix their wedding reception booking department, their events, their banquet department. Other DJ companies started calling. Other photographers were calling, videographers. Then that expanded into insurance companies were calling, mortgage companies were calling. And Andrew, you know what I did every time?
You said yes to them.
Right. And my wife pointed out, hey, it is so cool that you're running around teaching people how to grow companies for the low, low price of free, but you're not spending time with your own kids. So maybe on this quest to mentor millions, maybe you could mentor your own kids.
Ooh.
And I thought to myself, that's probably a good move. So again, if you're out there and you're saying, gosh, it's hard to find good people to network with, that's true. But the B team is readily available. Beware of the readily available B team, because the B team, Andrew, they are not only ready, but they're ready to meet you right now to sell you anything.
Anything you can buy, yeah.
They will sell you some serious crapola. That's what the B team does. So again, hopefully that answers your question there, Miss Michelle. I know you have the capacity and the tenacity to do this. I can say personally, I have invited so many successful people for lunch or for breakfast, and I get rejected on average before they tell me yes about a half dozen times. So usually on I like to ask somebody no more than once a quarter. So I'll reach out every 3 months and they say no. 3 months later, no. 3 months later, I usually get what do you want? What do you want? And I'll say, I'd be willing to pay $500 for 15 minutes. I have 10 questions I want to ask. And they'll go, you're going to pay $500 for 15 minutes because you have 10 questions? I said, yep, they're pre-printed, they're typed, and I'd love to meet. And I can say that in many, many instances when I met the person who I wanted to meet with my printed list and I handed them a copy and I had a copy and I showed up on time a little bit early and I had the check ready, they usually did not accept the payment. So people just want to know that you value their time. And hopefully that answers your question, Miss Michelle. We're so excited for you and your career, and I'd be honored to meet you at an in-person Thrivetime show workshop. I believe right now, let me pull it up real quick here. As of right now, as of 4:53 on this beautiful Tuesday, as we're recording here, let's see here, the next workshop is going to be. Is it not up here yet? The February? Andrew, we have to email ourselves a note right now to email ourselves a note.
Got it.
That apparently the February conference date is not up on the website as of right now. Do you see it up right now, or am I missing something?
I don't see it.
Okay, we'll email ourselves right now. But book your tickets today by going to thrivetimeshow.com. Hopefully we have the new dates up before you receive this podcast. And as always, 3, 2, 1, boom!